CAP and PTC member countries, and all the participants who have joined us. We extend a warm welcome to all of you. And as all of you are aware that we are commemorating 50th year of the establishment of panel on tropical cyclones and RSMC New Delhi. And as part of various activities, we are organizing a lecture series with eminent speakers from WMO, SCAP and PTC member countries. And today we have the third lecture in the series by Dr. T. Peng, Head of Disaster Risk Reduction, Technical Development Division, WMO. Dr. Peng has made significant contributions in development of a very effective coordination mechanism among the PTC member countries and capacity building in the region with his active support to the annual training for TC forecasters in the region organized by Regional Specialized Meteorological Center, New Delhi. And today, Dr. Peng will discuss with us the evolution of Tropical Cyclone Programme in the region and various initiatives by WMO to provide early warning and early action for all. So we have with us Dr. Shiromani Jayawardene, Deputy Director, Sri Lanka Meteorological Department. So we invite you, Madam, to introduce the expert speaker.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma, and thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. As you all aware that we are commemorating 50th anniversary of Panel on Tropical Cyclone. Today we have third lecture in the series by Dr. Taoyong Peng, expert from World Meteorological Organization. Dr. Taoyong Peng has been working with WMO since 2007 with various roles as a scientific officer, chief of Tropical Cyclone Plan Division, and now head of Disaster Risk Reduction Technical Development Division. With PhD in meteorology from Edinburgh University, UK, Dr. Peng has contributed mainly in management of disasters due to tropical cyclones and research associated with tropical cyclones, heavy rainfall and fog. He has contributed more than 30 research papers in various international journals. He has made noteworthy contribution to various international workshops, trainings associated with tropical cyclone and tropical meteorology. He has played a key role in facilitating support from WMO to the PTC in the region to enhance regional coordination and capacity development. We are happy to have Dr. Peng with us as an expert speaker today. He will present a talk on Introduction to Tropical Cyclone Programme in the region. Tropical Cyclone Programme primarily aimed to implement regional-based institutional framework among the member countries in the region for reduction of death and damage due to tropical cyclone. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jayawardene, and also thank you, Dr. Sharma, thank you, Dr. Mapacha, thank you all colleagues to spend the time this afternoon. Good afternoon, all the colleagues. So basically, I will introduce about the Tropical Cyclone Programme. I now share the screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think everyone knows well about the WMO Tropical Cyclone Programme already. But this time, what I tried and I thought, I will introduce the Tropical Cyclone Programme in a systematic viewpoint. That means sometimes, you may know more about technical issues and what's behind may not have been visible, but I wish to introduce you this program, and then later on we can follow how the WMO Tropical Cyclone Program is implemented and how the mechanism or governance behind. Okay, my presentation mainly included three aspects. One is about a brief history of WMO and the WMO Tropical Cyclone Program. That means where and how the Tropical Cyclone Program comes. And then the second about the Tropical Cyclones Program's mission, objective, and functional structure and governance, and the coordination mechanism and systems. Then the third one, I think it's really important, but we for many countries, we're still lacking about the national coordination. And then a little bit about related to how the TCP contributed to the early warning for all initiative. But first, the brief history of the TCP. As you know, WMO and its predecessor, IMO, now has been 150 years. And the main responsibility of WMO and IMO is not current IMO, it's WMO's predecessor, IMO, to promote the measurement of weather and the climate and to encourage application of the science of meteorology for the benefit of people around the globe. So in this connection, WMO in 2063 established a World Weather Watch program. It's still valid, still in place nowadays. And then 5 years later, WMO, under the initiative of the SCAP, in collaboration with WMO, the Typhoon Committee was established in 1968. And then in 1970, after the tropical cyclone Bola, this is very well known in this region, UN General Assembly approved a resolution calling for WMO to take all the further appropriate action to mitigate the disasters or harmful effect of tropical cyclone in UN language. And then in 1972, another UN General Assembly resolution and noted with the comprehensive plan of action for tropical cyclone project by the WMO and requested WMO to pursue the active implementation project. That means at that time, the WMO, after the tropical cyclone Bola, WMO established the tropical cyclone project, then developed the action plan for tropical cyclones. And this action plan is really comprehensive. It was developed 50 years ago, and when I read it, it is still valid, and it's still, I think it's very well described for even nowadays for the what we are, what we are requested for the implementing the early warning for all initiative. And in 1972, WMO established a tropical cyclone project, including the Typhoon Committee. SCAP was a panel on tropical cyclone. And then the I-1 Tropical Cyclone Committee for the Southwest Indian Ocean, and I-4 Hurricane Committee for the Caribbean. Then in 1977, another resolution of UN General Assembly, a welcome report submitted by WMO on its World Weather Watch Program and the Tropical Cyclone Project. And also the UN General Assembly called on WMO to intensify the effort to considering the present and planned activity on the development and the use of satellite for tropical cyclone surveillance. At that time, as you know, from the 1970s, satellite observation is in the wide application from that time. And in response to that call from UN General Assembly, the WMO 8th Congress in 1979 decided to upgrade and widen the scope of the tropical cyclone project, then to become the WMO Tropical Cyclone Program. So the decision is made by the 8th WMO Congress to establish the WMO Tropical Cyclone Program, but it was in effect. You see, in effect in 1980. So 2 years ago, we published we published about a 40 years review of the WMO Tropical Cyclone Programme. The link is attached in this PPT later. And then in 1981, a revised plan of action for TCP was formulated and also approved and published. So at that time, you see, with this action plan, we also for the TCP, they specified the ultimate objective of the TCP to establish a nationally and regionally coordinated system to ensure that the loss of life and damage caused by tropical cyclone are reduced to a minimum. You see, this has been more than 40 years without change for these objectives. That means the TCP is pursuing this ultimate objective in addition to other objectives as well. And also in 1985, another tropical cyclone committee in IFI in the South Pacific and the Southeast Indian Ocean region was established. Then by then, you can see all the ocean basins, tropical cyclone are covered by the 5 tropical cyclone regional bodies. Then in 1994, in the WMO Secretariat, TCP office was upgraded to TCP Division. That is only the secretariat structure. And the TCP Division is under the World Weather Watch Department. In 2008, as you know, the WMO had a reform and to shift the TCP division to the newly created Department for Weather and Disaster Risk Reduction, simplified as WDS. Then again in 2020, the new reform after the previous Congress in the Congress 18, the TCP division was dissolved, but TCP program was with the DRR and Public Service Branch, the Service Department. And then again in 2023, this year, the Congress 19 also decided to maintain the Tropical Cyclone Program as this program implemented and included in partnership and for the coordinated and harmonized development for good, based on the good practice and application. And in the Secretariat, the TCP program is now under the DRR Technical Development Division, including this Technical Development Division, including the TCP, Severe Weather Forecasting Program, Public Service, and DRR. Under the DRR and the MUSE and the Public Service Branch of the Service Department. Yeah, this is basically the history of the TCP. Now let's talk about the missions and objective of TCP. And basically, the TCP's mission, we have 6 objectives. The mission is to assist and enhance the capability of WMO members prone to tropical cyclone to provide reliable and timely forecast of tropical cyclone track intensity, related forecast of strong wind, heavy rainfall, storm surge, and covering all tropical cyclone prone areas. That means we are promoting the service based on the advance in science and technology. Another is to promote the establishment of the regionally and nationally coordinated early warning system on tropical cyclone with multi-hazard configuration to support the national disaster risk management and the reduction mechanism of the members. Then there's the purpose to get people warned and responded. So TCP's major objective is to enhance the forecast of tropical cyclone and associated hazard and strengthen National Meteorological Hydro Service's capacity to deliver the service in full compliance with WMO strategic plan and evolving user demand. So basically, with this TCP's mission and objective, TCP to meet user demand for the delivery of enhanced service with more accurate and timely warning of tropical cyclone and associated flooding, storm surge, targeted, established, especially at the end user. That means we will provide the service information based on impact, and also for disaster managers and decision makers, mainly for many countries for the government. And the TCP places emphasis on building capacity of members, especially the small island developing states and least developed country, to develop the assistance tools for forecasters and facilitate application of research and develop outcome, and also promote the cooperative activity of regional TC bodies, and also enhance the coordination among regional services. So the undertaking the multi-hazard approach. So as you can see, these are basically the mission and objective. And in relation to that, the TCP, has a kind of a structure. So we have the objective and the mission, and then we need to develop a structure. The structure and also related governance. The functional structure and the governance is like that. TCP carries out its activity according with the decision and the resolution by constituent body. Constituent body in WMO nowadays, it means Congress, Executive Council, Technical Commission, and the regional associations. A research board is although is not the constituent body nowadays. In the past, the Commission of Atmospheric Science was, but the research board outcome is also very important for the WMO business. So the TCP consists of like I say, we have two components, general component and the regional components. They are interact each other, you see, and also we have. In each component, we have 4 activity areas: meteorology, hydrology, DRR, and capacity development. Capacity development means by research and training. So, you can see general component have 4 activity area, and also in regional component we have also had 4 activity area. Then how the regional component and the general component interact is really the daily business of what the TCP is doing. And then next slide may introduce you for you to better understand how it works. So you see the global component and the regional component, they have all the different responsibilities. You see the global component, or another we call the general component, basically look after the globally common issues, like mainly the decisions by the Congress and Executive Council, Technical Commission, and also the research board. And the regional component mainly from the regional association and the regional intergovernment entities coordinated by TCP, like this Taoyong Tropical Cyclone. Another body is the Typhoon Committee. So you see WMO Congress, Executive Council, and Technical Commissions make a decision or propose some new things on global issue, and then implement on the global component is really the region specific. So although the global common issue needed to be addressed, but region when they are implemented at a regional level, they have to meet the regional diversity. I mean, we cannot just copy and paste, the general component into the regional component. It's really not the way of what we are doing now. So that's also the creativity of the TCP, and I think that's why my understanding in WMO why it is the TCP is so successful compared with the other program. I think another successful is program is WWW, including the YGOS, WIS, all this, and the GDPFS, now called the WIPS. So again, just the summary. what the meteorological area doing is for forecasting and warning. Hydrology also related to flooding forecast and management. I think so far for all the 5 tropical cyclone regional bodies, we have not done enough for this flooding because this is what we will pursue in the next stage. And also disaster risk reduction, mainly for the, we are promoting the national level multi-hazard early warning system, and there are some people also call the multi-hazard early warning service. This service mainly needed to have national level procedures, protocols, and mechanism. But the regional component is also very important to, to support some countries' lack of sufficient capability to provide the national level multi-hazard early warning service. And then the capacity development in terms of training and research. I think meteorology and the capacity development, all the 5 regional tropical cyclone bodies have done very well. And as you can see, we also have the like I say for meteorology we have operational plans. These can be considered as a binding document at a regional level, and also the competency also already approved by the regional competency already approved by EC 76. And will be published as a compendium of the annex for the overall WMO framework of competency. So these for meteorology and capacity development, we already have developed some 2 governance document or binding document. But for hydrology and DRR, hydrology so far it's I have talked to the Typhoon Committee hydrologist and also the hydrology department in WM Secretariat. We will start to act from now, but we can see the difficulty and the long process. For the disaster risk reduction, currently we don't have the binding document, and I hope the guide approved by EC 76 on tropical cyclone to support a national multi-hazard early warning protocol procedure and service will be help members to support their national disaster risk reduction management and also coordination. And again, the global component and the regional component, you can see it's basically, particularly the regional component. We have regional bodies, we have ICMCs, we have national centers, and also we have a region-specific operational plan and the manuals. And for global component, basically, due to the nature of the tropical cyclone phenomenon, in the WMO, the TCP need to cross-cut all the others WMO technical program. But now, as you already seen, WMO already dismounted many technical program. So in the future, we will cross-cutting with the many technical committee, and that means we have many standing committees under the technical commissions. So we will the TCP will work with many standing committee of technical commissions in the future. All the purpose for TCP to support the national effort and mandate, and also support the United Nations humanitarian activities. Then a bit more details. As global coordination and regional coordination through the activities. So let's see the global coordination. In the past, We did the global coordination through the technical coordination meeting of ISMCs and the tropical cyclone warning centers. So all the coordination, that means they may coordinate to have the standard or unified approach for tropical cyclone, like the naming, categorization, or these sort of things. And this job is done now after the WMO reform in 2020, looked after by the advisory group on tropical cyclone. And Dr. Das of ISMC New Delhi is a member of the advisory group on tropical cyclone. Sorry. And then for the, we have the governance, we have the activity, and we also coordination. We also need the mechanism and the system. You see in this diagram basically describes how the tropical cyclone operational issues over the globe are carried out. You can see we have 5 tropical cyclone regional body and the 6 tropical cyclone regional specialized meteorological center. You can see in the red dot, and also now 4 tropical cyclone warning centers. This is only specific for I5 tropical cyclone committee, because this regional tropical cyclone warning center established before the I5 tropical cyclone committee established. So basically they are from the national center, but they I mean the tropical cyclone warning center, their service beyond their national territorial responsibility. So it's outside the territorial responsibility. That's why they call it the regional specific centers. And again, you may see the difference in the past. We have 3 tropical cyclone warning centers in Australia, but nowadays they merged. From original, they have 3 from Perth, Darwin, and Brisbane. Now they're merging into one as a tropical cyclone warning center, Melbourne. And this is how you see the coordination mechanism of the cascading system works. So the left column, you see basically the ISMCs can get data either from global centers, from regional network of, like, for example, like radar or automatic weather station, ocean buoy, or even reconnaissance flights for some region, and also the metadata, not metadata, sorry. And you can see, and nowadays, virtually not only ISMC can receive the sounding data, but also I think each national center also can receive the global sounding data. Then after the ISMC, the ISMC for tropical cyclone produce a forecasting. We call it the ISMC's forecasting advisory, but this advisory is not a simple cascading from the global forecasting. The ISMC for tropical cyclone, the forecasting advisory actually produced by forecaster. That means this is the official forecast for the countries where the ISMC is located. But for other members, although it's advisory, but this ISMC forecast advisory is considered as a best in the region, and also considered as a best over the globe, because no other region is doing the tropical cyclone forecasting and forecasting for the tropical cyclone happening in this particular region. Then after the ISMC produce the forecasting, then as you can see, you are more familiar with than me. Then the advisory disseminated to the national center and other specialized agency, And so the National Center can further utilize the ICMC forecasting advisory based maybe or maybe not. They if they have their own national capability with more data, they can maybe modify or whatever they want to do for their own national level official forecasting. And also at the national levels, we also for ICMC tropical cyclone advisories, we also provided advisory to the aviation and also to the marine, because the 6th ICMC plus Darwin as the tropical cyclone advisory center for IQ. And as you also know, WMO already established 20 wind ICMC for marine. Basically, in the past, one meta area for one ICMC, and then this is in collaboration with IMO. This is International Maritime Organization. Okay, then another issue is I think is very important. I think we are making a lot of effort for this the TCP coordination at the national level. As I mentioned already earlier, so the national multi-hazard early warning system or service coordination mechanism or procedures or protocols or systems. So in the bracket, you can see the small characters. It says the WM Guide for National Meteorological Hydrological Service in support of National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Protocol or procedures, coordination mechanisms, system, and services. This guide has been developed and approved by the EEC 76 and then ICMC New Delhi. Expert also involved in the and contribute significant to the development of this guide. We in total about 10 experts over the 5 regional tropical cyclone body contributed to the development of this guide. And this guide mainly emphasizes the 4 areas. One is about the risk knowledge, institutional coordination in the area of risk information and assessment for IBF and risk-based warning. And the second area is hazard awareness and warning, detection, monitoring, analysis, and forecasting of the hazard and assessment of possible consequences. And the service delivery area, procedures, dissemination of the advisory and warning information, including service delivery to community and communication with partners. And then preparedness. Preparedness and response capability at all levels, including support for national response and recovery planning. If you you have already read the early warning for all action plan, which was approved by the COP27 last year, you can see these 4 areas actually corresponding to the 4 pillar. I think by coincidence, because I don't think all these experts developed this guide involved in the early warning for action plan. But I think also in another word, these are the common understanding, you know, for having the national multi-hazard early warning service or system or service. We need the 4 areas at national level to come together. Then this guide has 4 chapters. And as you can see, the chapter 1 introduces the hazard, impact, knowledge, and challenge of multi-early warning system. And the chapter 2 addresses strategy for hazard awareness, warning coordination, and service delivery and emergency response. Then chapter 3 describes the procedure followed in the multi-hazard early warnings. Then chapter 4 reviews some good practice from around the world. Then all the Annex 1 to the Chapter 4, including the case studies submitted for this guide by some members. But as this annex is open, any member wish to contribute to their national good practice, we can in the future include your national good practice into this annex, and then for other members to have the good reference. So and then the references and also resources utilized in developing this guide are also summarized in one of the sections as another annex. So the importance of this national guide, the idea is, you see, for the hazard, but particular for tropical cyclone, it can cause immediate damage, including death toll and also the loss of properties. At a national level, really, the national hydro or meteorological service alone is not enough. It requires a structure, national structure or systematic approach. All the departments need to work together. So then this coordination at a national level requires a societal and also include the legislative and administrative and also diplomatic engagement. And for this, guide mainly regarding the national or local DR mechanism and protocol and procedure. This is very important. I would strongly recommend all the members carefully consider to promote that, because this guide in this guide, one of the section is very strong. We have a very strong language. It says like that. You may read that later. Without the legislation for the national multi-hazard early warning coordination mechanism procedure, it is almost impossible to have a good response. So you can see how important the engagement of society is important, but the legislation and administrative procedure is also very important. And if you have this protocol and you have all the reason and justification to request the government to provide the user resources, this is also the national coordination mechanism is also, as a good justification for the meta service to request the government or legislative body to allot the regular budget, government regular budget to support this kind of national coordination mechanism. So basically, what we are saying here, this procedure needed to be the legislative guarantee, and also the government lead, and also joint response of all government department and stakeholders. And most importantly, I think, equally important is the public engagement, because without a public engagement, without a mobilization of the people, all the procedure actually cannot work. So for this national coordination, with already approved the WMO guide, which will be published soon, and we can promote that at a regional and national level to support the national DR mechanism. And particularly, I wish to mention here, during Congress, with kind of support and from Dr. Mahapacha, we had a good example for the Indian national coordination mechanism, including global, regional rules of and engagement. This is actually in the video, and Dr. Mahapacha already kindly offered. There's no copyright limitation. You can download, disseminate as you wish and like. I can tell you, I watched this video a couple times. This is basically a good example to reflect what I presented previously for the National Meteorological Service to enable the finally to save the people, save the life of people. You need the global coordination. You need the regional coordination. You need the national coordination. And the national coordination in India case is they have the national. I don't know the exact name of the system. So something like India has a national disaster management council, and another country like Oman, I understand, also have a similar mechanism. This really is a good example. The council, the management council, although it's administrative, but it's chaired or headed by the very high people. Then only the very high people can coordinate all the people involved in the at national level to support the national DRR mechanism and to save the people's life. And this also by this national coordination mechanism, and this is also the good example. If we using some kind of critical languages, it's to enable the government to be the of the people and by the people and for the people. Am I right? Well, that's basically what I wish to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taoyong Peng, for excellent presentation about the international mechanism established to coordinate the management of the tropical cyclones over the region. You brought out very clearly the establishment of the Tropical Cyclone Program, managing with the project, and then afterwards it becoming a program. And finally, it becoming a part of the CIRCUM. So we in this region are very much impacted, as all of us know that this region has been adversely impacted with the worst kind of disasters in the past, especially with tropical cyclones, and also the number of deaths due to the cyclones, if we just consider, it's caused more than 5,000, or about 75% from this region, especially the Bay of Bengal region. At the same time, as the region is developing, there is a lot of losses in terms of properties, the livelihood. I just want to know from you, what is the further coordination mechanism to reduce not only the loss of lives, but also the loss of property in this region?
Thank you, Dr. Mapacha. Honestly, this is a this is a very difficult question, but I may just discuss with you all a bit what I thought before. I think first, still we try to improve our forecasting and the service based on science. And also the application of modern technology, like say the AI technology. This is the first thing. The science and the technology is our foundation to improve our forecasting. Then second the thing is at the regional level, as I mentioned earlier. We have a good mechanism for meteorology. We have a good mechanism for training or competency development. But so far, we don't have the mechanism for hydrology or flooding coordination, right? And also, we don't have the mechanism for DRR. But as I said, in the past we have the WMO DRR roadmap, but I didn't see any detailed implementation so far at a regional and national level. The guide I mentioned and spent a lot of time to discuss here is really directly down to the national level to promote the national, or to promote the establishment of national level coordination mechanism for DR. And this is also the primary objective of the TCP. But the issue is to promote this guide for the national coordination. We can provide a guide and provide if expertise of if any members require, because we have a very good example of success members like India, as I mentioned, like say Oman, as I know, but also many other countries as well. But I may not familiar with or may not remember what you have presented in the past. But anyway, this is something we need to move forward. But at a national level, WMO is always, working in, like say, we present something we cannot ask you to do. This is the major difficulty for WMO. So if any member wish to do something like to establish a national level coordination mechanism and need the expertise, then we can provide. And not we can provide, we can coordinate to provide. Yeah, so it's really finally up to the decision and the determination of member whether they wish to do. But we will try to promote them to do. And we also know, like many in WMO Tropical Cyclone Committee in Africa, many WMO members actually wish WMO to make a voice. And then they can utilize what the WMO decided to present to their national government to support this national level coordination. And my understanding and also my experience before I joined WMO is it's really the Meta service can do its own job, but beyond its own job, without the coordination, actually you cannot do anything. For example, whether the warning is not only the Meta service mandate, it also implies a societal impact. And the societal impact is the government's responsibility. It's not the responsibility of Meta services. So that's why for warning requires the government lead coordination. And if it's going through the legislation, then it becomes automatic. So automatic means through the legislation, everything is already well established, and the Meta service do what it's required to do by the legislation, and then the downstream department, the department look up the downstream effect need to follow based on the legislation. Everything is the procedure is very clear. Everything takes their own responsibility and do what the legislation requires. So I think this is what we will promote the next step. So again, yeah, okay.
Thank you. So I just wanted to have some comments that with respect to tropical cyclones, as far as impact is concerned and property loss is concerned, we have come up a long way. We are able to provide some guidance about the expected gale winds or strong winds or hazardous winds. We are also providing guidance and coordination is there among the countries with respect to storm surge. Each country also has some kind of potential to have the storm surge estimation. As far as flood is concerned, which is also another hazard associated with tropical cyclones, we have got the coastal flooding, we have got the flood due to waves, surges. You've got the floods in urban areas in the coast. Also, there is riverine flooding. So what I expect that when we reach these 50 years, and again, we're marching forward for the future, we should have some kind of policy guidelines or policy planning where all the countries and RSMC can work together to have some kind of flood forecast guidance, integrated flood forecast guidance, which will include all the components of floods, like urban floods, coastal floods, and riverine floods. So there is, we bring out that now the service goes in a fragmented manner. So the information is available for riverine floods by some other agencies, then information on urban floods by some other agencies, and by coastal floods because of, say, coastal inundation modeling, etc. But the water which inundates a particular area, that does not distinguish as the sources of the water, whether it is coming from the sea, whether it is coming from the rain, whether it is coming from the river. Therefore, that type of integration is lacking. Even if we have some kind of guidance like South Asia flash flood guidance, we have got the guidance from the storm surges, that type of integration is not there at present. So WMO can coordinate to have some kind of integration of the existing services so that you will have finally the total water envelope over the particular region when a cyclone is hitting the coast. Another point in this region is very important. Ali Sharif and our friends are there from Maldives. Also, there are many islands. India also has islands like Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep. Bangladesh has got many islands. So for these islands, the waves are also very important and they are very dangerous. So that has to be some kind of mechanism. We have some kind of, can say, severe weather forecast guidance where we will taken into consideration, but that needs little more augmentation with latest tools and technology and a coordination mechanism. I hope these two are the emerging challenges which needs to be addressed so that we can minimize the loss of lives and properties further. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Mapacha, can I respond?
Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right. And for the, like, say, the coastal inundation, WMO has a coastal inundation program. I think it's the program currently, I don't know if it's dissolved or not, but I didn't during the Congress 2 months ago. But anyway, the previous Congress established the coastal inundation program. This actually integrated the inland flooding and the storm surge. But what they have produced many guidance, but the material outcome, I don't know exactly how much they have obtained. Regarding the storm surge and waves for the small island countries, yes, you are right. And we also wish, and through the TCP, we mainly responsible for tropical cyclone related storm surge and ocean waves. But we hope these non-tropical cyclone related, like the thunderstorm over the ocean or strong wind over the ocean can also cause the strong wave, and then it's really harmful for the small island countries. In that case, we may in the future promote that in the SWFP. And the current the issue for SWFP is the SWFP is implemented based on the project or activity, and we don't until this year, when I was asked to look out the SWFP, I understand SWFP implementation has no local budget. So you now, as the WMO third vice president, you will have a very important role to promote that. Also, you may notice that in the past, WMO has Secretariat has a specific Tropical Cyclone Programme division, and again, now we don't have a specific program division, and it really well. And also, previously the division has had 2 people to specifically dedicated to the TCP, but now basically only 1, and I for myself only maybe a maximum half. So we still need I think more people to staff to work for TCP. At least need one more people to work combine the TCP and the SWFP. But nowadays, due to the regular budget constraint, it's not easy to create a new post. This is also the another issue. And for cooperation on storm surge and ocean wave, yeah, this is very demanding but very difficult, because ocean wave and storm surge forecasting related to the bathymetric data. And WMO is not easy or may not be in the position to request a member to provide the bathymetric data. So WMO's position, as we always when many years ago, about 10 years ago, we promote the cooperation at a regional level, but we encourage the bilateral exchange of data. That means if one member agree to, to have a support from another member, then they can exchange whatever data they want. So this is basically our basic position. But if we, from WMO perspective, if we, for example, make the decision or request to require all members to provide the best metric data, I think it's against the national law for many members. So that's and for the flooding, and I think we are in the same position as well. Many water or hydrological data are not really easily exchanged. That's also another difficulty. Yeah, we do understand that. We still encourage the regional coordination and cooperation, but at the same time, we do understand and respect the members' request and also members' limitation. Well, thanks.
Thank you. So you can go for any questions and comments. Is open for questions and comments. Of course, I have started. Others can.
If there are any questions or suggestions or comments, you can please raise your hand.
Yeah, we are not watching any hands actually today.
So,
And there is no questions also in the chat box. And yeah, both in YouTube as well as here. No question.
so we request, yes. From Oman. Okay, now we request Dr. Ali Sharif, PR of Maldives to WMO, to please present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Dr. Mahapatra. Distinguished, respected delegates from related sectors of TCP member countries, it is my utmost privilege to offer the vote of thanks to all the participants on behalf of WMO Escape Panel on Tropical Cyclones. I extend my sincere appreciation to the speaker, Dr. Taoyong Peng, for his informative talk on Introduction to WMO Tropical Cyclones Programme, TCP. We have learned a lot from you, sir. Dr. Peng today discussed with us the evolution of Tropical Cyclone Programme after the disastrous Ebola cyclone that killed more than 300,000 people in Bangladesh in 1970. Furthermore, he highlighted the role of coordination mechanism to achieve UN WMO objectives of early warning for all initiative. Dr. Peng has played an instrumental role in supporting the coordination mechanism among RSMC New Delhi, WMO, and PTC member countries to minimize casualties and destruction over the region. Dr. Peng has been very vital official and also a very good friend to all PTC members. We have met and discussed him in several meetings. We thank you, sir, for this motivational talk. We also express our sincere gratitude to WMO Escape, all the members, or the member countries of PTC and representatives, permanent representatives of WMO of PTC member countries, including PR of India and third Vice President of WMO, Dr. Mahapatra, and RSMC colleagues for the excellent arrangement for this event. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we thank you all, including the representatives from WMO, ASCAP, PTC member countries, including PR of India, Dr. M. Mohapatra, PR of Myanmar, PR of Sri Lanka, PR of Maldives, and PR of Yemen to WMO for joining us for this talk. We also thank the representatives from Thailand Met Department, Bangladesh Met Department, and Oman for joining us. We also thank the disaster managers from India, including the representatives from National Disaster Response Force, Indian Air Force, Indian Navy, representatives from various offshore industries, including Oil and Natural Gas Commission of India, and representatives from Indian Space Research Organization, forecasters from IMD, and researchers for joining us for this talk. And all those who have joined by name and I'm not able to recognize their affiliations, I thank you all. And we also convey our special thanks to Dr. T. Peng for a very informative lecture about the Tropical Cyclone Program. Dr. Peng shared with us major objectives of the Tropical Cyclone Program that include the initiatives to provide reliable and timely forecast and promote establishment of a coordination mechanism for effective disaster management and reduction of death toll. So we thank you, sir, and we also thank you for for appreciating the cyclone warning system in India and the documentary film that was prepared by India Meteorological Department. And as Dr. Peng pointed out, some of the guidance that we are providing under the severe weather forecast program that can further strengthen the member countries in managing the disasters associated with the cyclones. So we thank all of you for joining us. And we also thank Dr. Shiromani Jayawardene, expert from Sri Lanka Med Department, and Dr. Ali Sharif, PR of Maldives to WMO, for their support in organizing this lecture. Thank you, everybody. And next Monday, we'll have special talk by PR of Thailand. and we'll meet next Monday at same time. Thank you, everybody, and best regards.
Thank you, everyone.
Photograph. We should take photograph.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, let us take a photograph.
Yes, sorry. We can have a photograph, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We request all of you to please switch on your video. With a big smile, please. Thank you. We request all to please switch on your video. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.